Now, it's not even 3 weeks since President Trump's inauguration, and we've seen a blizzard of executive orders and a total reshaping of the way things are being done. Now, in the run-up to the election, Donald Trump battered away concerns that Project 2025, a conservative blueprint for dismantling federal government, could shape his second term. So where are we? Well, Russell Vought, who's an architect of Project 2025, has just been confirmed to lead the White House Budget Office. President Trump has offered incentives for federal workers to resign or face being laid off, a move that's being challenged in the courts. And the Department of Justice is trying to force the FBI to release the identities of staff who investigated the January the 6th riots. A judge has ordered a halt to that, saying there is no question that releasing the names would put FBI agents in significant and immediate dangers. Just a few of the things that are currently at play. Let's speak to Scott Lucas, a professor in American Studies at University College Dublin. Scott, welcome here to the programme. So, as I said there, we're less than 3 weeks since the inauguration. Where are we, do you think?
Where we are, and it needs to be stated clearly amidst all these dizzying news reports, is a systematic effort by Donald Trump and by Elon Musk to effectively take apart the U.S. government. And what by take apart, I mean by closing certain departments and agencies without going through Congress, by firing thousands of personnel, by trying to coerce or cajole thousands of others to resign, by shutting down entire federal programs, including the U.S. foreign aid program, and by severely restricting the ability of U.S. specialists in government to cooperate with colleagues around the world on health, education, environment, and other areas.
I was reading an article by Edward Luce in the Financial Times today, whose first line was that Donald Trump is making good on his threats, driving a Cybertruck through the US Constitution. From your answer, I suspect you agree with that basic assessment. In terms of Project 2025, how far down that road are we in less than 3 weeks?
What's interesting is that this was in plain sight, that this intention to take apart the agencies and bend them to Trump's will was in Project 2025, even though he lied, he knew nothing about it. And they have gotten quite a way into doing that because they've bypassed the courts, they bypassed Congress. In other words, that U.S. system of checks and balances is gone. So to give you some extremes where we are already facing this, that is that the government services organization, which is supposed to oversee U.S. agencies, is effectively paralyzed. They aren't able to operate because Musk and his people are going in, getting sensitive records, are issuing commands or emails calling on people to resign. The CIA is facing the unprecedented effort of having to hand over the names of its agents in an unclassified way, something that violates every principle of security because it's being demanded. And of course, we're looking at the FBI and the Justice Department facing effectively a paralysis on any type of meaningful investigation, all because Donald Trump and Elon Musk they want retribution over the investigation of January the 6th.
You mentioned a list, and I've got a few more, because Elon Musk, access to the payment details in the Treasury, and of course that lead civil servant who's been there for decades, forced out. You have what I had mentioned about the FBI. You were talking about the CIA, the pushing or trying to push out all those federal workers. When you see that array of all these different things going on, which is the thing that concerns you most?
You could pick any one of those and talk about it being unprecedented and dangerous. Think about the idea of the records of almost every American being in the hands of men between 19 and 26-year-old with no expertise, but who could find out about people's health record, about their payments records. Think about the fact that American national security is now compromised at a time of great international crisis. Think about the fact that entire health programs in the U.S. and abroad, like HIV prevention programs, are paralyzed. But put it all together, we are talking about the attempt effectively to bring an autocracy into the United States. And I know what that word means. And by autocracy, I mean you can choose Donald Trump or you can choose the health of the U.S. system. You cannot choose both.
Just a sentence or two in terms of all those legal challenges that are currently in play. Do you see any prospect of them being able to hold the ring?
The problem with the legal challenges, and they need to be brought, is that unless the courts can effectively stay, not just say that it is wrong what is happening, but that they can actually say there should be no further pursuit of records or of firings by the Musk people or by the Trump people, they'll try to operate. They'll take all the time they can before the courts intervene, and that could be weeks or even months.
Scott Lucas, we have to leave it there, but thanks for taking time to speak to us, and thanks for that analysis.
Thank you.